Good evening from Look North. A man has been arrested and questioned over the murder of a 16-year-old boy, which happened more than 20 years ago in Leeds. Tyrone Clark was attacked by a gang and stabbed to death in Beeston in April 2004. 4 men were convicted and jailed for his murder, and now a 5th suspect arrested. His mum, Lorraine Fraser, has urged anyone with any information to come forward. Elizabeth Baines reports.
We had the best relationship. He used to torment the life out of me. He was a good son. Everybody loved Tyrone, and I miss him terribly.
Tyrone Clark was murdered just weeks after this family holiday 22 years ago. He was 16 years old. Tyrone was chased and attacked by a gang near his home in Beeston in Leeds and stabbed to death. His mum has been campaigning for justice ever since.
It's took its toll on me, and I campaigned for years on knife crime and gun crime, and and to have to now think that I've still got to fight for Tyrone when I shouldn't have really.
4 men were convicted and jailed for Tyrone's murder, and now 22 years on, a 5th man has been arrested. West Yorkshire police say detectives have arrested a man in connection with the 2004 murder of Tyrone Clark, and inquiries are ongoing.
I've got a broken heart. I have fought for Tyrone because he's my son. Any mother would have done. But I would appeal to anyone with any information. Please come forward. Put me out of my misery.
For 2 decades, Tyrone's family say they've lived in the shadow of his murder. This year, his younger sister Shannon became a new mum. Her son's been named after his uncle, in memory of a dearly loved brother and son. Elizabeth Baines, BBC Look North, Leeds.
Transport Minister and Selby MP Keir Mathers refused to confirm whether or not trams will play a part in West Yorkshire's mass transit plans. The Prime Minister recently backed calls by Mayor Tracy Brabin that there should be trams rather than an improved bus network. But on this morning's Politics North programme, Mr Mathers says people aren't fussed what form it takes.
Well, look, when I speak to constituents in East Leeds, I don't think they mind whether it's a tram, a bus or a flying car. They want a mass transit system that gets them to where they need to go in a way that's fast, cheap, convenient and makes a difference to their lives. I understand West Yorkshire Combined Authority is working up the business case around which mode is best.
Doncaster pupils have been transported back to a 1938 German classroom to learn what life was like as a Jewish schoolchild during the Nazi regime. The interactive exhibition is at the National Holocaust Centre, which has been opening the eyes of visitors for 3 decades. And with anti-Semitism still far too common, its work's more relevant than ever. Ed Collard reports.
Why do we think Heidi and Gertie wanted to be friends? Why do you think
A typical lesson for a group of Year 6s from a school near Doncaster. Except this is Berlin in 1938.
So actually, if you might be the only Jewish person in that class.
These youngsters are taking a trip back in time in an interactive exhibition at the National Holocaust Centre in North Nottinghamshire, now marking its 30th year.
It's called The Journey, for children, particularly primary school children, to walk through and to experience life as a young person of their age in the run-up to the Second World War.
People were horrible to people and it shouldn't be like that.
It wasn't fair for them just because it was their religion or how they looked.
What we want to do is to leave young people, when they're faced with decisions to make around isolating someone or racism or what, that we've given them some tools to think.
And with anti-Semitic attacks on the increase, this community is forced to think about its safety every day.
We're very worried about security here. We're not, it's not relevant for us. We're a museum. We've got to do better at education. That's where it all starts.
And today, education has definitely brought wisdom.
I can more put myself in their shoes.
I don't want this to ever happen in the future.
Ed Collard for BBC Look North.
Now let's take a look at what the weather has in store. Here's Anna Church.
Good evening to you. It's not been too bad out there at times today, but it is beginning to turn quite unsettled and it is going to be cool over the next few days. The cloud has been building. We're starting to see some light and patchy rain. It does look like this will turn heavier for a time through the night, perhaps a little bit squally briefly as the winds also pick up, but fairly mild, lows of just 11 degrees Celsius. So the weather pushes its way eastwards through rush hour tomorrow morning. So quite an unsettled start to the day, but then things quieten down. The cloud begins to break up. We'll see some sunny spells, just the chance of 1 or 2 isolated showers out there. Temperature-wise, we're around 17 degrees Celsius as a maximum. I mentioned it's going to be quite cool as we go into the start of next week, also unsettled at times, but there's hints that it settles down and warms up a little bit as we head towards next weekend.
And that's your news and weather. Have a lovely evening. We'll see you again just after 10. Goodbye.